Hello, Tonya TKO here. And right now I am on my way to a flea market out in the desert. And I have to go get my ticket, so I have to walk about 3 miles. Because because my truck is hooked up to my trailer. And I wasn't going to unhook it to walk these miles and then come back. So I'm walking. I'm walking. Do you guys remember that song? I'm walking. Yes, indeed, I'm walking. Well, that's me right now. I'm walking. Listen, I have some questions for you all. So gather in, gather in. I have some questions. Boys and girls, I have some questions. I know I'm all up on my face with the camera. Good morning. I really like the coffin on your ear. Thank you. I appreciate that. Happy Sunday to everyone. Happy Sunday. All right, so I have some questions. I'm going to wait for a few more of you all to come in because then I'll find myself repeating the questions the whole broadcast. I want to ask you all some questions about the podcast. First of all, if you've seen the podcast, put up a number 1. If you've seen oh my goodness, see, I'm so used to video. If you've heard the podcast, put up the number 1. All right, so Ivana's heard the podcast. Good morning, Ara and Phyllis. Okay, so a bunch of you have heard the podcast. All right, so most of you here are familiar with my Nebraska in the house. Most of you here are familiar with my videos. Right, that's why you're here. You're familiar with my videos. All right, so I wanted to ask you all some questions. Okay, so you all know what it is that I do here on the Tonya TKO show, right? We talk about viral topics, how it relates to self-love. We also talk about topics that affect the Black community, right? So we have a lot of different things that we talk about here, right? Okay, perfect. So I created this Goddess Off the Grid podcast, and I wanted to ask your opinions about creating the segments because I was like kind of fretting about this yesterday because I'm like, okay, so what do I do? How do I structure this thing? So listen, so get ready to vote. I'm carrying this tripod, so my arm is getting tired. My idea was to come out and try shooting in the desert with my snapper, but then I realized that the flea market had already begun and that the tickets to the rodeo are on sale right now. So I'm going to go get. It's just more comfortable for me to hold it at this lower angle. So I'm going to go get my tickets to the flea market and the rodeo. I'm not really interested in the flea market stuff, but they reduced the cost of the ticket to the rodeo. And I'm interested in seeing my first rodeo. And that's what I want to ask you all some questions about. All right. So the very first podcast, we spoke about Amber Geiger. The podcast is doing really well. The podcast has almost 500 listeners, right? And I'm like, wow, that's dope. All right. So then the podcast was about Amber Geiger. That was the whole entire podcast. It was 42 minutes of me just dissecting this whole forgiveness tour and the whole issue with why it's so dangerous for Black people to just go around handing out forgiveness without change behavior, right? I mean, that's just so damn stupid. How are you giving out forgiveness without change behavior? I think that's dumb, right? So then that's the whole podcast. But then I woke up. I typically wake up at about 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I do some work, etc. And then I go back to sleep, and then I wake up at an hour, at an hour that I can be productive, right? Not productive, but I wake up at an hour like this where I can come out and get my morning walk on and speak with you all or whatnot, right? So I recorded this segment and I was talking about the rodeo, right? So I was talking about the rodeo and this horse that I heard in the middle of the night. I put that podcast up. It's 9 minutes and I'm calling it an interlude. So this is what I want you all to vote on, right? This is what I want you all to vote on. how should I structure the podcast? Because after I did that interlude yesterday, I ended up interviewing this cowgirl. So I interviewed this cowgirl, and then I ended up interviewing this bareback horseback rider. He riding a horse that's bucking, and he has no saddle. He's just on there, and the horse is like, "Whoa, whoa," trying to throw him off, right? And I'm like, I had to ask the questions. I had to ask the questions about how is he stopping the family jewels from getting squished. So I want you all to listen to that podcast. I haven't edited that one yet, but based on your feedback during this broadcast right here, I'll know how to edit it. So I want to hear from you all who are my viewers when I am doing my segments, because you know something? Because the people, listen, because the people I was interviewing, they were like, oh, what's the name of your podcast? Where can I listen to it? And I was like, oh, I'll send you a link when I put it up. But then I started feeling self-conscious because I'm like, these white people can come over to my podcast, and they're gonna hear me talking about Amber Geiger. You hear that New York accent? Amber Geiger. They're gonna hear me talking about Amber Geiger. And they're gonna hear me talking about Gone with the Wind and Miss Missy and Massa. And they're gonna be like, oh my, what have we done tuned into, right? They're gonna be like, oh my God, that black girl, she seems so nice, but then I come here to the goddess off the grid and she's going off the rails, right? So I'm like, what do I do? Most of the people that I meet on the road as an RVer are white. Most of them are white. That's just the meat and the bones of it. The fact of the matter, they're white. So I'm interviewing these white folk, and these white folk can come over to my podcast, and they're gonna see me hollering. Hey, good morning. So I need advice. Because the two don't. Listen, I need advice. Listen. How do I structure my podcast? Because I feel like the two of these things are in conflict. Because my interviews are for everyone, right? But my content really is intended for Black people and our allies, right? Of course, listen, I'm going to say how I feel. I'm going to say how I feel. That's not the question. The question is structure of the podcast. So these are the questions. Let me ask the questions, since I can't get mad at you for not knowing the question when I ain't asked it yet. We've been going for 8 minutes. I ain't asked the question. All right. So the question is, when it comes to the interludes and the interviews, right? What should Tonya do? Okay, so here are the options, right? When I'm doing a segment, add the interviews at the end of a segment. So like, let's say I talk about Amber Geiger. Then I'm getting ready to switch topics. Then I add in one of the interviews that I take on the road, right? Then I come back and then I'm doing a different segment, right? And then after that segment, I add another interview, right? Oh, God, I feel like a fool. I feel like my point, like I'm not really like talking and I ain't saying nothing. That's how I feel. All right. So that is one option. The other option is to create the interviews as mini episodes in between the episodes. So like have them all put together, have them as a little interlude, and then go on and do the whole episode strictly about our controversial topics, right? That's another option, right? You all are not answering. That's another option. And then the third option is just, I don't know. The third option would be to separate the interviews into their own podcast, But then I have to ask myself, am I really willing to, edit, promote, and do all of that for 2 different podcasts, right? So I don't know. Should I just create the Tonya TKO show on, I'm sorry, I'm trying to adjust my stuff over here. Okay. All right. So then I'm asked. So then the other question is, should I just create two different podcasts? So that Goddess Off the Grid is then a podcast about my travels and the people that I meet along the road. And then I just create another podcast for the Tonya TKO show, and we just do the same thing that we've been doing, except in podcast form, where we talk about. But then you see, even on my YouTube channel, right? Even on my YouTube channel has videos of the stuff that we talk about going in. And then the next video is me doing a book signing or rolling around because I'm tired. So hold on, I gotta wipe my lens. Somebody saying, maybe you should have wrote down the options. Deshaun is saying, white folk need the truth. They need the truth, Deshaun. They need the truth. But then listen. The other, Deshaun, I'm so glad you brought that up, because Deshaun could be a male name or female name. So in today's podcast, I know I would exhaust myself trying to do 2 different podcasts. I really would. So in today's podcast, I want to talk about Black men and child support, right? And I have some criticisms about Black men. Hold on. I gotta take my jacket off because homegirl is hot. Oh Lord, I'm carrying my camera without a camera case. I didn't even realize that. I left my whatchamacallit. All right, hold on. All right. All right, hold on. All right. So, let's get this party started right. Let's get this party started quickly, right? Set it off on the left, set it off on the right. All right, so then let's go forward. I'm gonna put my camera crossways. Put my camera cross. Let me see if I can put my hair up. That might help with the feeling of being bogged down. Okay. So, okay. There's a Caucasian woman I just saw at the RV park. They driving up to the front, I'm sure. But I ain't asking them for no ride. People got different type of housekeeping habits. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't. So listen. So then my thing is, today I want to talk about Black men and this child support argument that I got into on Facebook, right? And I'm not really sure. I want to hear you all. I want to hear your points of view about how you all would like the information. And then so someone is saying, maybe in the title add a signature that differentiates the two. Hold on, let me pause and read some of these because I really want to hear your point of view. Hold on. Let me get inside the shade where I could be cool while I read. All right. Have you ever thought about switching your videos over to VI? I don't know what VI is, besides Virgin Islands. So Virgin Islands. And God favored me, say, why do black people think that white people are listening or care what they do? History has told us all. Babe, are you even listening to what the hell we talking about over here? I'm talking about interviews of people who are specifically asking. You see my crazy eyes like that girl who was in her rap, the one that broke into the Bronx Zoo? Listen. All right. Why do black people feel that white people are listening or care? Oh, no. Have you thought about switching over to VI? I wonder how these same men. I like a combination of things. I like a mix. Good morning, beautiful queens. I'd like to hear this because maybe it may help me. Please don't, not your target. It's going to turn into something else. They don't have to be included in everything we do. I like option 2, however. Right. But the fact of the matter is, I am off of the grid. And I do go to events like this where I meet people. And I think what they're doing, what the hell is this? Oh, no, 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 no. Look at this mini dinosaur bone that I'm seeing on the ground. Hold on. What in a Sam? Hold on. I need to zoom in. What the hell is this? You all tell me, what is this damn foolishness right here? What is this? I need you all who eat meat to tell me what this is, because that is not a chicken. Somebody said run away. Listen, I need you all to tell me what that thing is. What was that? No, some of you meat eaters need to tell me what the devil that was, because that was not chicken. that was not a stick. You saw the ribs. Come on now, and the spine and the hips. Come on now. What was that? Brianna said, run! Y'all crazy. All right. So did you all hear the options? So these are the things that I'm thinking about inside of my mind. It wasn't eatable. A knockout. All right. So listen. So those are the questions. So, you know what? I guess what I would say is, so this is the thing, right? This is the thing. I need you all's point of views. Come on, give me some points of views. So talk to me about how you would like the podcast. So yesterday I did so this morning in the middle of the night, I uploaded my 2 a.m. interlude where I was talking about, the inspiration that comes at 3 in the morning, right? But how does that fit into the overall scheme of the podcast? So no, I won't always have interviews, but I will probably have interludes where I'm just talking about, some of my words of wisdom or whatever. So how do we do it? I guess talk to me about how you would like your segments. Different episodes or cut in between an episode. And then if I am going to have like an episode with other people, coming into our kingdom, right? Do I just, and listen, don't get me wrong, because there are Caucasian people who watch the Tonya TKO show, because in the Tonya TKO show, we talk about issues that have to do with self-love. And because I'm Black, I speak about issues that I have an interest in, which pertain to me and some of the things that, and the things that the women who watch my show write in about, and the things that the men who watch my show seek counsel on. All right? Oh, God. I'm starting to get hungry now. My belly feels empty. All right. I don't like segments, do one long talking podcast. Yes, I made a live chat. Don't just make the live chat. Answer, since you're here live. Answer some of the questions we're talking about. Melanin is magic. Of course they do. You're so funny. All right, so listen, talk to me. So Pinky is saying different. So different episodes. All right. Okay. All right. So Pinky is saying different episodes. All right, so listen. Oh, so Pinky you don't like segments. Okay, so let's take a vote. Okay? Let's take a vote. So the numbers are going to be 2, 3, 4. Let me pause for a moment and take a vote in the shade. All right, so let's take a vote. Number 2 is have different episodes. So like if I'm traveling and I'm at an event, I create an entire episode about that. So 2 is 2 different episodes. So when we talk about our social issues, that's a different episode. When we talk about our and don't vote yet until I give all of them, right? So two different episodes for the 2 different types of content, right? That's number 2. 3 is segments. In one podcast, we have segments where we talk, and then we have an interlude, which is a segment. So like I'll be talking about, a social issue, then we'll have a segment where it will come in where we're talking about something different, then we'll go to a different topic. And then, so that's 3. And then number 4 is, what is number 4? Oh my Lord, I forgot the third one. 2 different segments, 2 different episodes. 2 is 2 different episodes. 3 is segments where we cut them inside. And 4 is, I guess there is no 4. There's just 2 and 3. That's it. It's just 2 and 3 to choose from. All right, so do your votes now. Do your votes. I want to hear your votes. Do your votes. All right, hold on. Okay, so we have 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, so most people like the 2. Only Kimon likes 3. So the 2 different numbers are 2 and 3. Number 2 that we're voting on is, please don't vote more than once. Come on, I already saw your vote. Don't try to pump up your numbers. Don't try to pump up your numbers and skew the vote. Don't vote illegally. Like how Donald Trump was saying people was doing, they was going outside. They was going outside. Putting on a hat. And then they were coming back in and voting again. Don't do that, Kimon. Don't do that. All right, so the 2 different options are 2 for 2 different episodes and 3 for segments in the same episode. So we're talking, and then we have a segment, and then we talk about something else. So Lynette has voted 3, but she's given a tiny little 3 to the 3rd. Power tiny. People don't show ID to vote. And that's what people are upset about. Because trying to force people to show ID only helps the disenfranchised. You already okay. So Dipped missed the in New York City, they do not make you show ID. You go, you find your name on the thing, you sign, and then you go vote. Your name already has a doggone signature on there. All right, so Pinky has already said that she prefers the freestyle. Oh, goodness. LaRon is writing me messages. LaRon says he cannot see the chat. Can somebody tell LaRon to refresh? But if he can't see the chat, he's not going to hear you say refresh. LaRon thinks that somebody has blocked him from being able to see the chat. Instead of just refreshing, he still feels that self-consciousness from when he hung up on us. Remember when he hung up on us? Remember? Oh, goodness. All right. So what I'll do is I will do 2 different segments. I'll do two different segments. So what I'll do is I will create our episodes, right? I will create our episodes. And then also, so let's do another vote. Let's do another vote. Okay, let's do another vote. So we're going to do 4 and 5 in this vote, okay? So Pinky, get ready. Dip, to get ready. You know what, Dip? You've been packing for a very long doggone time. How long are you going to be packing for one trip? Dip and Indigo have been packing for the past 2 weeks. Who packs for 2 weeks? You're supposed to do just like the rest of us. And the night before your flight, go scrambling and running in every direction, trying to shove whatever you can into your suitcase. That's the way the rest of us do it. That's the way the rest of us do it. That's the way the rest of us do it. My father packs over the course of like 3 weeks to a month. He lays his suitcase out and then he starts putting his things in slowly. How you gonna put things in your suitcase when you still need them during the day? That don't make no sense to me. So Dip been packing for the past 2 weeks. And I'm like, how much packing you need to do? You leave in America? All right. So let's go forward. Let's go forward. All right. So this is the vote, 4 and 5, right? So 4, we're going to vote on whether or not we will have segments where I talk about one issue and then talk about another issue and then talk about another issue. So we'll get 3 issues in an hour segment, right? So an hour is 60 minutes. So we'll talk about each issue for 20 minutes, right? So we'll do 20 minutes. You'll have an interlude, 20 minutes, interlude, and then 20 minutes, right? So that way we'll get 3 topics done. We'll cover 3 viral topics all together in one episode. So that's 4. And then 5 is one long talking segment for half an hour about one subject. So come on, vote up now. Vote up now. 4 and 5. 4 and 5. Okay, so Pinky, they voting against you, girl. So Silent likes the idea of segments. Okay, so we have 2 people voting for segments. So we have segments. Only 1 person is voting. You're 5, Pinky. Most people want segments. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So even Pinky didn't vote. Pinky, why are you not voting? Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. I just seen Miss Pinky vote a 4. I just seen Pinky vote 4. What is going on? What happened to your convictions? This is how you're going to be in 2020? You're going to be like, oh, I'm going to do this. Then you get inside the voting booth and you do something different. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Pinky has switched over to segments now. Pinky, what is happening right now? What's going on? I need to know what made Pinky change her vote. How did this happen? This is so silly. Marilyn voted 3. Lord, Marilyn is minutes behind. All right. Listen, I don't understand. And none of you answered me about what type of bones those were. So, wait, you were changing? Talk about if you can't beat them, join them. Oh, my gracious. You all, something ain't right with you all. You all is silly. All right. All right, so segments it is then. Segments it is. Segments it is. And then, so I'll probably, you know what I'll probably do? Okay, so you know what? Let's vote on the segments. Pinky is, I don't know what's going on with Pinky. Listen. All right, so let's talk about the segments now. Let's talk about the segments. Okay. So, of all the things that we do, what we do mainly are we talk about social stuff. We talk about social stuff. We talk about relationships. So the social stuff that we talk about is most likely, wait, with the dead cat? I don't have a dead cat today. All right. So the segments that oh, you know what would be good? What would be good is if we did do the dust hours, but if I see, but then the thing is, so then, okay, so maybe, so then, okay, see, you guys got me wondering now how we would be able to do this. Because the dust hours, you don't really need to see. So the dust hour could definitely be, the dust hour could definitely be, whatchamacallit segment where we call up. But the thing about that is that we need the interaction of YouTube, right? So YouTube provides the interaction that we need for the dust hour. And then what we can do is maybe like the best segment from the dust hour gets put into the podcast for the people who did not see the video of the dust hour. That's one idea right there, right? Oh, the bones was a dead cat. Oh, I thought you meant the dead cat that you use as a wind muff for the microphone. That's the video production in me. All right. Okay. All right. So let's get our vote. Let's get our vote, right? Let's get our vote. Okay. So right now we're voting about what the segments are going to be, right? So, okay. So let's vote. Let's vote on the segments. Which are your favorite segments? Which are your favorite segments? So we have Ask Tonya TKO, which is asking questions. You know, people write in and they ask me questions, right? So Ask Tonya TKO, people write in, they ask me questions. 2 is we're talking about viral topics. That's another segment where we talk about viral topics or social issues, right? My podcasts are on Spotify. You would know that if you click on the link swift. You're telling on yourself. You're letting us know you didn't click on the link. So there's the Ask Tonya TKO. There's also the Dust Hour. I know you all love the Dust Hour, but the Dust Hours need to be recorded on YouTube. So the Dust Hours need to be recorded on YouTube, right? Because we need it to be live. So the Dust Hours, but we don't need it to be in video, but then there's no way to do live during the podcast on Anchor. We would have to then go over to, if we were to do just audio, we would have to go over to Blog Talk Radio, and Blog Talk Radio charges monthly. So, so I don't know about Blog Talk Radio. And then also we would need to make calls out. So YouTube is the best way to do that, right? So let me look at the voting that we're doing. So Dust Hour on YT, please. So Miss Price is saying, damn, you out of breath, sis, already? First of all, I've been walking for 30 minutes. Second of all, I'm fasting, so I haven't broken my fast yet for the morning. So I'm walking in this California sun. I haven't broken my fast. Third, I'm out of shape, mother effer. Listen, I'm out of shape. That's 4. 3, 4, I'm carrying all of this damn stuff, right? 5, this damn California air is dry. And I'm in different, I'm going into different altitudes. So you shut your damn mouth. Yeah, I'm out of breath. Mother effer, let me see you carry all this stuff and this camera walking in this dry air without eating. Okay. So people like the Ask Tonya TKO. All right. So you know what? We will figure this out. We will figure this out. So I'll have the travel segments in between. And then, so, you know, like when you're watching your favorite show, right? When you're watching your favorite show, how they have the bonus episodes, which is really just a reiteration of stuff, you know, from wherever they gather it, right? Miss Price is saying, okay, I'll give you a break for telling the truth. You know what, Miss Price, let me bring your black ass on air and let you start walking outside doing all that I'm doing. You probably the first person out of breath. That's why you notice it, because you having problem keeping your own breath. That's how you like, oh my goodness, she sound like me. She sound like me. I don't think she's a hater. I think she's just somebody who is denying the fatness in herself. You know what I'm saying? She's denying her own fatness. So when she see that fatness in another person, she like, you had a breath like me. Oh. But we can't see her. You can only see me. All right, so listen. You hear those songbirds? What you do? What you do? What you do? What you do? Okay, that is... Okay, that's... They stop when they heard my foolishness. They stop. They stop. They stop when they heard my foolishness. Something threw a rock at me. Did you hear that? No, the hell they didn't. Wow. They tried. Man. Oh my goodness. You all heard that rock being thrown, didn't you? Man. I guess whatever it was that I said, maybe it was some curse words in bird speak. They was like, oh yeah, bee, So my song was a Thug Life song. Apparently not. They throwing rocks at me. Here. So this person is going in a timeout. That's your first warning. Come back with some more BS and you're getting blocked from the channel. I don't have time for these types of games. All right? So you're on your first time out. All right, so everybody, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Just a little while longer. Dang, this was a 40-minute walk. This is crazy. All right. Okay. All right. They were on the opposing team. Okay, they were the other kind of thugs. Okay. All right. Whew. Okay. So Laura says she likes the YouTube videos because it feels like we're having an interaction. Yeah, no, I feel you on that. I mean, I still do live videos. This is my second or third live video this week. So fret not, my face is still here. My face, my bun. All right. So I'm almost at the front of the flea market now. Almost. I probably still have a little ways to go. All right, but so I think we've gotten it down pat. So what I'm gonna do is we'll record the dust hours on YouTube because that's the easiest way to get the content. And then what we'll do is we'll create segments. We'll create segments, and because you all done bullied Pinky. You bullied Pinky into changing her vote. So we'll do segments, and then yeah, I think that'll work because my average YouTube video is about 20 minutes long. So if I could do 3 segments, but then I'd have to kind of chop the segments down to about 15 minutes. That way we can have our interludes. Or no, I don't have to chop it because we're not going to do the interludes. You know what? We'll work it out. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. But I'm almost here. So let's so go on and listen to my new segment on whatchamacallit. So you all didn't get a notification that I put up a segment last night. This is awful because when I woke up this morning, only 2 people had listened to the podcast. which means that people are not getting a notification that I'm creating a podcast. So no, the podcast wouldn't only be 15 minutes. The segment would be 15 minutes. So each segment would be 15 minutes long, and there would be 3 segments plus 2 interludes, right? So maybe, like, I don't know. I have to kind of see, because my idea was to kind of add some of those extraneous stuff as like the bonus stuff. It was my idea to add the bonus stuff as interludes into the episodes, but we'll see. There's a bunch of people here with old-time cars. Do you see that? Another one is coming. I'll let you all see. It's passing by. You see that? All right, so Kimon was the one person that listened to it, because it said it only had 2 listens. No, I'm talking about the 2 a.m. interlude that I did last night. So I did a 2 a.m. interlude, and only 2 people listened to it. And I was like, that means that I had to promote every single episode. So I'm working on doing the text message thing. Yeah, it's on Anchor. It's on Anchor. So I'm working on getting the text message thing set up, but I'm waiting. I'm getting I'm getting some help with the programming of that. So it's the weekend, so I probably got to wait till tomorrow and see what they losing my train of thought. What am I trying to say? I don't even know, because I'm looking, I'm getting ready to get up to the spot where they have the tickets. So I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, with the text messaging. So I have to wait to hear back from them to see how we're going to do the programming, so that whenever I upload, so that's whenever I upload a video. But then I also need to, you know what, I'll probably have to figure out how to, whenever I upload a podcast, you could get a text message about that as well. That way you can just get your text and you can know when it's up. No one got a message that the interlude was up, and you're following did you all choose to follow the podcast? Because if you're following the podcast, you should. But you know what, we're not going to be dependent. So at least you're following, Wan is following, and you all did not get the notification. No notification. All right, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to I'm going to do the whole text message thing, and then we're going to go from there. All right, that way whenever I put something up, you get the text message notification. All right. Oh wow, follow and no notification. So yeah, that's probably why only 2 people heard it. Somebody was probably randomly clicking around on Anchor and found it that way, because nobody had listened to it. And I don't want to have to put up all of those posts. Like, I don't know, maybe that is what I'll have to do. Other people put up posts every day. And the thing is, I don't want to have to send out a personal email, because like taking the time to write those emails, like I'm out right now, I'm writing an email and including links and all of that. Even the community tab, everybody doesn't see that. So listen, I'm here at the front desk. So yeah, Kimon, I am going to need your cell phone number, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak with the platform, the developer and the platform, and then I'm going to show you all where it is that you need to go to sign up with your mobile number. And then also there's a small fee associated with it. We talked about this the last time. It's probably like $4.99 for the year, something really, really small, just to cover the cost of the text messages, because it costs money to send each text message. So we'll talk about that later, but let me jump out of here so I can go get my ticket for the flea market and the rodeo. This is where we get tickets for the flea market and the rodeo?
Down the gate down there.
This
is just for the car show.
There's a car show here today? Is that why you will have this fabulous car? I hope you win. It's gorgeous. All right, so we still have some more walking to do. So straight down this way?
It's all, see where those cars are going in down there?
You're probably going to have to go out on the street
Really? Okay. Thank you. So we're not here yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We still have some more walking to do. I thought this was it, but apparently it's not. I have to go out to the street and go around, which is fine. Which is fine. All right. So all that time, I'm glad I spoke up and said something, because all that time we was over there waiting. All right, upload a clip directing the audience on YouTube to when your podcast is uploaded. Yeah, no, I don't want to effing do that. No, I don't want to give myself extra work. I don't want extra work. All right, but if that's what you, so listen, because like it's, oh gosh, I don't want extra work. I don't want extra work. I don't want extra work. Oh, this stuff, bugs flying on me. I mean, if I saw this skin out in the wild, I'd fly onto it too. All right, so the thing is, I don't want to have to do that. I don't have a team yet. When I start making big money, like I was really excited. My podcast, I made $7 from my first podcast, which was cool. And so Kimon says she's willing to pay money for the Tonya TKO empire. That's good. So Dip is saying you still gotta love what you do. Don't make it too hard on yourself. No, I feel you. I feel you. I don't want to make it too hard on myself too, because I know I'm not going to want to upload a video. I don't even want to put up a post every time I put up a podcast. But I do need to be more interactive on social media. But I interact in a way that is comfortable for me. And doing all of that is not comfortable. You know? Doing all of that is not comfortable. All right. So I put up 2 podcasts. Somebody's saying I listened to the podcast. But I did a podcast on Amber Geiger. And then I put up a podcast, a 2 a.m. interlude. Just a motivational interlude, right? Somebody's saying, then don't. I know. All right. All right. So that's what I'm going to do. When I get back in today, I'm going to work on... I brought my camera, and when I get back in today, I'm going to work on the podcast, where I'm just going to do a straight podcast about the rodeo. Let me all ask you, how many podcasts a week are we looking for? Are we looking at 2 podcasts a week, 1 podcast a week, a podcast every day? If I did a podcast every day, I'd have to make it very low maintenance. Let's see. So I think it's on the other side over there. 1 to 2 a week. All right, we'll see how, you know, if I can make it low maintenance enough, I could put up, because you know what, because this is the thing, people go to work every day. The whole purpose, the targeted audience for my podcast are people who need, people who need, trying to think what it, I'm just so tired. I should have brought water with me because now I'm thirsty. People who need some company while they're working or driving. People who, that's my targeted audience. People who want to listen while they're working, while they're driving. They want to listen, be entertained, get engaged while they're doing those things. I love your video, so a little daily inspiration is nice. I listen to podcasts daily, see? So Dip says it lightens her whole day to hear from me. Okay. All right. So we're going to figure this out, because if I can, because, removing the video aspect from it definitely lowers the maintenance, right? So let me ask you, so someone is saying 1 to 2. So Pinky's saying 1 to 2 podcasts a week. Hi. DJ is saying 3 to 4 podcasts per week. There's 5 days in a week, right? Um, the thing is, I would not be able to do an hour podcast daily, not with the segments and stuff like that, unless I made it very, very, very low maintenance. Very low maintenance. That would be the only way that I'd be able to do it. That would be the only way. All right, DJ saying, I absolutely enjoy your podcast. Thank you. Okay. Maybe a set time every day. If I did every day, it would probably have to be, if I did every day, it would probably have to be, what would I need for it to be every day? It would probably have to be unscripted, or very lightly scripted. And it would maybe need to be shorter, because I can't imagine myself talking for an hour each day and editing an hour each day, unless it was unedited. But unedited, I don't know. You know what? We'll have to think about that. We'll have to think about that. So I'm the only fool out here walking. The only fool. Look. There's some more fools behind me walking. Look. There's some fools behind me. I'm not the only fool. There's some more fools behind me. Because I'm like, did I just walk for 51 minutes? And then have to walk 51 minutes back? You all gonna help me walk back. You all are gonna help me walk back. Oh, you know what? I could probably exit through the back. So get my ticket now, walk through, and then walk back. Oh my God. Scripted and some days designed to chill day. You know what? But the thing is, let me ask you all this question. Because I was when I was watching these, when I was listening to the instructions on how to podcast and how to get a successful podcast, right? When I was talking about that, when I was researching that, they were like, you need to have a very just people trying to get in on the broadcast. So listen, when I was researching on how to do a podcast, but I have the camera tilted up so you all can't see, but this is when we talk about the invisibility of Black women, because you saw this person was right up on my back, and now this person is walking over that way. And I'm like, you don't see me? It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So these are the people going for parking. I see everybody walking over this way. Ridiculous. Because there are people who talk about how people, as a Black woman, people just bump into you all the time. And then, she's walking with her little Black man. And you know how people who are in their interracial relationships, how they behave when they think that other people want their partner just because you all share the same skin color. And I'm like, no, baby, I do not want your tight calfed, the tight pant calfed leg. I don't want that. I do not want that. Don't worry. You do not have to walk up on my back. But did you all see that? It's like, look, we have a wide open space. Why do you need to be on my back? Pretending like, oh, sorry, no, bitch. Excuse my language, excuse me, I'm getting out of pocket. Let me come back in out of pocket. Yeah, come on. All right. So nonetheless, I know. I know. Look, I don't need to see you in the fact. I don't. Nobody cares. Because what's for me is for me. And the type of man that like that is not the type of man that would like this queen. So please, let's just, come on. Yeah, God. So nonetheless, right? Unbelievable. You know what? I hope they got some doggone food here. Because the sister is hungry now at this point. Is it time for me to break my fast? Let me see what time it is. Hold on. Oh, it's 10:27. Good. Almost time for me to break my fast at 11 a.m. So it's almost time. Yeah, walk into your space and touch you. It's unbelievable. It's just simply unbelievable. Unbelievable. So yeah, No, I mean, did you all see that person? Like, right up on me. If I didn't have the camera tilted up, the person would have been in our broadcast. Unbelievable. And Wan Wan gets violated every time they're out. You're gonna have to start screaming at people to back the fuck up. Be like, back away from me. Just back away. People just ridiculous out here. Back away. All right. So today, in today's podcast, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the rodeo interviews that I did to talk strictly about the rodeo. So I'm going to do like a rodeo day. So what I'll do is I'll do days when it's just only about travel, and then I'll do days. Hold on. I'll do days when we just talk about the traveling stuff, and then I'll just do. Oh, I was telling you all about. Hold on.
And Vicki and her got really tight a few years ago, 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And they did everything together. Vicki was been there.
So I was talking about the thing that I've read about, or the thing that I was listening to about having a successful podcast. They were saying that you have to really narrow down your show structure, and you really have to have a consistent. Yeah, I am just a little bit. But speaking up, because you can't stay in your feminine and be able to command the respect of men. You're going to have to get into your masculine and tell them to back the F up off of you. You're gonna have to. So finally, I think I made it to the spot. Now it looks like there's the spot where people are going to. Yeah, but Dip is saying she's very outspoken. But Dip, you know that it takes a lot of masculine energy to do that. Oh, melanin is magnetic. Who's saying this? HTV is saying, remember, melanin is magnetic. They are drawn to us, but don't really know why. The science-warranted hate is really confused admiration. Paraphrased by Alice Walker. Oh, how interesting. She did The Color Purple, right? Oh, I'm hot. I'm tired. And I need funnel cake right now. Okay, maybe not funnel cake. If I could get like a shabab, what are those things called? A shabab of fruit, I'll be happy. A kebab, that's what they call a kebab. Yeah, that's the sad part, is that black women have to go to our masculine so much. Nonetheless, yeah, so I would love a kebab of fruit. If I could get like cantaloupe and pineapple and all this stuff on a kebab right now, I'd be okay with that. So we are almost there at the line right here. So we're there, and this looks more like it. It says admission tickets and all this, that, and the other. All right. But it says adults $25. That is not what I heard. I heard it was $6. Hold on, let me talk to these people. But listen, this is unbelievable. This is what they told me. They told me it was $6. So I ain't about to pay $25. All right, so listen.
Well, I'm standing in line outside.
There's a lot of people here, so let me go ahead and end this broadcast. We'll talk on my way back, because I'm going to need some help getting back there. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Thank you for all of the help and the suggestions, etc. I really appreciate that. That was very helpful. It gives me ideas about what it is that I need to go do going forward. And yeah. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Bye.